Hi. Last week I was talking to my friends and I was telling them how I am disgusted with this new generation of kid, the generation of my daughters and their friends, and how I find them to be ungrateful, selfish, and self-centered. I think they don't have any respect for their country, their people, their culture, and they have no gratitude for those people that provide for them. And I mean it. I really felt it. That's why I said that. And it's not that I was not bitter or anything. I don't care. I really don't care. It's just an observation that I felt that way. And this morning I was riding my bicycle and I was thinking, was I too harsh? Is it true that they are really that way, or is it that I am saying it because I am looking at it from my point of view? Were we any different when we grew up, when we were children? And as I said, am I being harsh to them? Maybe we were same, no different, and maybe our parents felt the same way about us. And again, when I was thinking about that, and I realized that it's not so. I think there is some difference, and I'm gonna explain that why I felt that way. And again, it will feel like I'm justifying what I just said, but you will judge from my logic whether I have any truth to what I say. See, the basic difference is that when we grew up, the social circumstances were totally different. We were poor. Now, I didn't mean wretched poor. We had enough to eat probably, and barely to survive, have clothes and shelter, that's all. And that's like basic necessity, and I consider anything below that not human, that's animal. So we just had barely above the basic necessities, but we were poor. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any luxury. We didn't have any transportation. We couldn't go to the movies together. We didn't have any TV or anything, any luxury. We couldn't go out on a vacation. We didn't have any money, or not any good clothes, nothing. So when you are that poor, you have to have certain values. There's no escaping that. You have to be kind and generous, because you don't know who among your friends, relatives, neighbors who will need help from you, because they are all similar situation. And again, when you are at that level, you have to be humble, because you never know when the carpet will be swept under your feet and you will fall the abyss of poverty again. You cannot boast about your good fortune. You just can't. You have to be humble. And you cannot be selfish, because you never know when you will go around and ask for help from others. And you can't be selfish and ask for help. Some people do, but people like us can't. So those values that we built in, selflessness, generosity, kindness, humility, were a byproduct of the situation we were born in and the situation we grew up. That's how I felt. These kids are different. They don't have to have any of these, right? So that's how I felt. That's the situation is different. And then there are more differences there, because see, I mean, when we grew up, the only form of entertainment we had was, there was no TV, there was no video games, there was no internet, there was no phone. The only thing we could do is go out and play with my friends, or sit at home and read some books. Those are the two options that we had. And some of us, well, most of us, went outside and played. Now when you do so, you build certain characters, right? You build some strength. Because when you go out there and play with your friends, there are bullies, there are gundas that will threaten you, that will torture you. And you have to stand up and defend yourself, right? And when you do that, you build some confidence, some character. And if you don't, then you have to build friends around you who can protect you. Even that requires some leadership. That's what we did. Now these days, when these kids go out and play there, and when they had a fight, and I have seen this, and this dismays me actually. And 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids, they fight with each other and they come back and complain to their parents. And the parents fight on WhatsApp that why did your daughter or your son this? And this was unthinkable in our time. It's completely unthinkable. Even the weakest, most timid kid, the most coward kid, wouldn't even imagine, after being bullied or beaten by his friends, to go around and complain to their parents that someone has beaten them up. That was a humiliation that is unthinkable. They would rather go around and, as I said, endure the torture and bullying for the rest of their lives than endure the humiliation of telling their parents that my friend has beaten me up. So we had to stand our ground and defend ourselves. In that doing so, we built strength. And I remember beating my friends, breaking their teeth or their ribs, and me being broken, having broken arms and collarbones. And that was life back then. And that instilled some courage, some confidence, some manhood in us. And I felt that is something that is with us. And I feel the kids today are missing that. That's how I feel it. And the other part I was talking about is I don't find these kids to be intelligent or interesting. Why? Because as I was telling you, when we grew up, I was telling you that we had only two options. You either go out and play or read books. And I preferred the later one. I used to sit there and read books. And anything I could get in hand of. I mean, we had no choice, no selection. Whatever we could get our hands on, we just read them. Autobiography, geography, history, politics, ghost stories, detective story, anything, any book that came on our way, we just read them. And that gave us some perspective about the world. And I have some good memory. I don't know, maybe, and I think I have some good memory. And whatever I read, some of it I retained, and it stayed with me. And that gave me some amount of knowledge. And I find, and that's true about my friends. And I find that makes us interesting and intelligent and having a conversation about what I know about the world, about how I feel about the world, right? We understand the way the world works. And that's completely missing today. And I don't know how many kids even read one book. With so much, we didn't have any books, right? I mean, we had to borrow it from my library. I remember walking kilometers away from our friends to reach our friend's place to borrow one book. These kids, they can have any book in their fingertips, but they don't read. And that's what I meant when I say that they are neither interesting nor intelligent. And believe me, after ranting so much, I want to believe that I'm wrong. I'm damn wrong. And I believe these kids will will come up with something very, very interesting and an absolutely amazing worldview. And a beautiful world where they'll live in peace and harmony better than us. Like we lived better life than our parents, right? And I'm sure I'm not going to be there to see it. And believe me, I don't care. Thanks for watching.